just wait a sec for it to just on the monitor. Always like to just make sure it actually starts. And I'll talk about a little bit about what we're doing today. So there's just a little bit of a delay on my screen. Bear with us. It seems technical issues absolute rife at the moment. I think I'll have to restart that ever so quickly. But I'll do the intro. So, my name's Rob. This is Cat Rabbit Scan Water Studios, and today I'm doing something really specific with a Deathwing Knight, and it's not frustrating me, but I like the Deathwing Knight kit. If you saw my review of it, I really liked it. I like, I'm biased. It's Dark Angels. It's going to be good. Don't worry. But I did find after going back through the instructions and really pouring through them as I have done lately, one thing that did kind of stick out to me is the really cool pose that the captain's got, and that was okay, cool. It's just, there you go. My screen's now up, which is good. So look, hello, if you're watching from the future, how are you? Hope you're well. Hope you're well on Sunday. Got a lovely cup of tea going. But anyway, right. So this is what I'm talking about. If we look at the Deathwing Knight kind of variant here, the Knight Master in particular, if you have him with a sword, he has this really kind of cool pose where the sword is kind of poking down into the ground and he's kind of got his shield to one side. It looks cool. If you give him the mace, you can give him like a really longer handled mace. It looks cool, don't get me wrong. It's kind of like he's pointing it. But I want that mace in that sword pose. If you go for the other variant, the arm is slightly different, which I don't really understand why, actually. It's a different shoulder joint and arm, even though it does look like it's the same. It's not. But you kind of get this diddy little mace. So if you do him as a Knight Master, you get this one, which is really cool, actually. But if you give him, I just build him a normal one, he gets like little baby inadequate mace there. Not quite the big boy that he makes himself out to be. So there's that. So what I want to do, and I've had a good look, don't worry about the model. These are actually really nice because you can actually just take them off. And if I'm ASMR it up, you'll get a really satisfying click here when it just, hey, look at that. So don't worry. But I've made him, I haven't bothered with a head section yet. And he is just, you know, he just pushes together at the moment. Now, originally I thought, oh, this would be quite easy. Now, the only section that we really need to be extra careful of is his hand on the edge of that sword. Because what would happen is, I do believe it's this one. Yeah. So the hand kind of goes there. And then it kind of twists like that. So you've got some of his thumb there, and you've got the edge of the fingers tips. It might be a little bit difficult to see, but honestly, I'm not lying. It is. So what I need to do first, I think, is before we do anything, is we need to measure up. And the reason why I put him on a base, I'm just going to kind of talk a little bit about my methodology here and how and why I do things. The reason why he's on a base is because I need to know where the sword sits like that. Because then what I need to do is I need to replicate, as you can see, if we use the big mace, you know, nothing's going to line up. Now I need to lose a section anyway because I need to remove the hand. So this is actually going to shrink down. The only other issue you've got is if you look on the mace that I actually want to use with the nice big head, hey, there's purity seal on it. Now, rather than cut that away, because no matter what we do, that's not going to be sculpted, I think it's going to be easier just to remove this whole section, remove that hand, and combine it with this mace to make a, like, one complete kind of thing. And then what we'll do is I'll cut away his hand just here. I'll attach it to the hand itself here. And then I think the best thing to do, and it might seem a little bit weird, is then drill with like a pin drill. If you can imagine, see, because that's tapered, we can actually cut that section off, and we can just kind of wedge the end, so his hand's actually kind of like, if you can imagine, like that, and he's holding the top of it. So that's the plan anyway. How this is going to go, I don't know. I might just absolutely fuck it all up. But we'll see. That's the plan anyway. So let's start, and I'll kind of just talk about how I do things, why I do things, as we kind of go through and stuff like that. I must say, I was really pleasantly surprised that the night kit, with all of his options, that one guy took up so much sprue. All right, you know, he's got a lot of bits, this guy. So that's the sword. I have a shield arm. We're not going to worry too much about that. We don't need to. Nice shield. Ooh, lovely. Can't wait to paint that. And I haven't glued on his shoulder pad, just in case I can't get it to work and I need to just use another arm. So I've left that off. This is what I mean about if you use the big mace arm, or the sword arm, it goes on, I believe it's this one. You can tell because the little tubey thing lines up at the back. Is it? Or have I just got that completely wrong? No, that's it there. But if you do the smaller pokey arm with the smaller one, it actually goes on that shoulder piece there and lines up. So I just need to make sure that I've covered myself here with how I'm going to do this. I did look at some of my other bits to see if I had a spare hand that I could use. Initially I thought maybe I could get like a power fist and have him like resting it on the mace. I thought that would look quite cool, but it's trying to find one that's the other hand. I seem to have all left hand ones, not right hand ones. So value. Evening, Fraser. I hope you are well up in a wee body Scotland, man. Good luck with the kitbashing. I gave my boys flail and maces from old nights and they look awesome. So sorry, I'm going to butcher that. I'm so sorry. Is it Wojtek? I had them, and that was the original idea, was that maybe I would just give them the halberd and the maces, because I love it, because they've got like the incense burners built into it, for, you know, with Asmodai with them, you know, and all the incense. I thought, oh, that would be really, really cool. But I've actually already used a lot of these bits, so I was kind of like, oh no, what have I done? It's all well and good kit bashing away, but when you get carried away, the problem is I've used bits. Now I need them and I don't have them. So yeah, so in actual fact, let me just have a super quick look and see if I've got like how big, what's the difference in it's weird, isn't it? What's the difference in fingers? I don't know. I wonder, because I tell you what I do have now. I am tempted to use the end of that mace as well, because that kind of lines up nicely. So if I actually just remove this and put this in, he's going to have this really cool spike mace. I got to admit, like, don't get me wrong, I like the new Deathwing stuff. I like the redesign. I'm okay with it. It does not bother me one bit. But I like these ends better. I think they're very cool. So I think I might do that. I tell you what, if I just head over to my pile of absolute, what have we got here? Which one are they? What are you? So we've got, no, that's Ravenwing. Okay, are you up here? Where's my little box? I'm like scurrying around like a little hermit just off screen. I've got a little pink box here that I've got loads of stuff in, and now I don't know what I've done with it. Oh, Rob, of course you and your disorganisation. Is it here? Is it under here? Is the cat sleeping on it? Sorry, mate. I know, buddy. but you're not really helping, are you, Pops? Are you? Okay, where would I have put that, I wonder? There's my actual bits box, and it's never far really from that. So I wonder. That's Chromebook stuff. There's that one. Maybe it's. What I need is my box of spruce. I need the Primaris one because that also has a hand facing down, doesn't it? That's what I need. I wonder. And I know I've got one somewhere. The question is, what have I done with it? That's not very organised, Rob, is it? No, awful behaviour. So let's just scrap that idea for a second and have a look and see what we've got. Well, I don't think there's anything on these. I don't think so. No. I wonder if I've already used it. I know I've got a spare one somewhere. No, that is a nice sword, all like that. We've got a pointing finger, all classic. There's a blade there, okay, no, and there's that, so that's also a no. The other upgrade bits are there. Yes, Fraser, I'm really well, actually. Just cracking on, as I so often do, obviously, naturally, just losing stuff. But no, there it, past Rob was a lot more organised than I give him credit for, because in actual fact, all my stuff is neatly placed on the shelf there. So yeah, no, I'm well. Because the other day I sorted some bits out. Look, I've got these. Look at these guys. Absolutely fantastic darkening. Look at that. Wow. God, look at the moulding on that face. Wow. Iconic. I love it. Right. It was kitbashing. No, it's just Rob finding stuff and then being amazed by it. Ah, look. I knew it. God, you. This one here. Look at. Yeah, but it's a right. You poopy pants. It's the wrong hand. Okay, well, it was worth an idea. That's a shame, but not the end of the world. It doesn't matter. So yes, no, I'm well, Fraser. I do hope you're keeping well yourself. What you've been working on? Are you still doing the Howling Griffins? Was it you were doing Howling Griffins for a while? They were coming along really, really well. And then I got to admit, I tend to go like a bit of a hermit and just scurry about the studio. But no, I ran I ran 10k in one go, yeah. The other weekend, and I was fine. The next day, I went out for a beer in the evening, as I so often do. It's my other hobby, and woke up on Sunday and I thought, oh, my leg feels really uncomfortable. I wonder what I've done. Nothing, fine. I actually went to the doctor's on Tuesday, and there's loads of fluid around my kneecap. Sorry if you're eating. Not like bad, but they were like, you shouldn't even be on this. So I've been actually signed off to the 22nd. So I've had a load of time just to do bits. I feel quite organised actually at the moment, but yeah, that's where we are. So I think the last thing I'm going to do is muck about with the sword. Let's see if we can get the sword. What I need to do is I need to get it so the height is exactly the same. So yeah, it is going to be a slightly smaller mace, but it's going to be, because that's the height I need it to be. Hey, it's going to look good, trust me. In actual fact, what I might do as well, and this is going to be really, really weird, I'm going to get my files, and I am going to file this point flat, so it looks like it's embedded into the ground as it would be. So that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm doing a squad of Terminators now, some Blood Angels, whatever we need project. You'll see pics. Oh, nice! Always exciting. Let's talk about Let's talk about rumours. Dun, dun, dun. I dislike rumours. I do. I very much do. I think they're not fun. Like, it's nice to know, but come on, don't ruin a surprise. But I'm hearing a lot of the AOS 4.0 stuff. I don't know how many people are into AOS. I like it. I think it's a lot of fun, actually. And it was the first game system that got me into Warhammer was Age of Sigmar. It's nice and simple. I like it. So we're hearing a lot of Skaven v Stormcast. I know there was a leaked kind of like Doomwheel thing that showed up, which is interesting. But how do we feel about leaks in general? I got to admit, as a guilty, I don't know if it's a guilty pleasure, but I quite like some days. I like Chapter Master Valrak. I know, I don't know why, but when I speak to people, they seem to be like, oh, that guy. But you can clearly see the guy really loves the hobby. And I don't think he necessarily peddles false information. But I think there's, like he says, and I think this is where people looked for him for answers. They're just rumours until they're true and you've got it. And I do, sometimes I go onto his videos and I'm like, oh, but I try and do it about stuff like, I didn't watch any of the Dark Angel stuff because I didn't want the surprise ruined for myself, because obviously I love Dark Angels. I was excited to see what come. It's almost like waking up on Christmas Day morning when Santa's been, isn't it? But I'm seeing loads of Age of Sigmar rumours at the moment, which is, don't get me wrong, it's cool. I like Age of Sigmar. I've been painting up those Askurgan True Blades at the moment, and I've been having a fantastic time with them. I do think the Age of Sigmar models are really good fun. I'm just making a point with my knife here, as I so often do, because that's going to act as a pilot for my drill, because I'm going to have to pin this, and it's probably going to be in 2 or 3 sections. I'll try and do it in 2 if I can, but if I have to do it in 3, I will. And I'm just going to let the drill do the business here. I should have used all the bits from the night kit. So if you've just got the night kit, you could have followed along with this. Really, had I been not carried away, yes, that would have made more sense, actually, wouldn't it, Rob? Yes, doesn't matter. It's too late now. I've not done much else since I was down the road. Though I do have the Luminef. I like Luminef, nice looking units. The army itself doesn't really interest me, if I'm honest with you, but they are very striking. I like their big cows and their kangaroo dudes. I think they're very good. When painted up nicely, they're very striking. You see a lot of painters flex on those figures, and it's for good reason. The sculpts are absolutely lovely. But I have very little experience with Luminef, so there we go. On a side note, I should probably do it here rather than wait for the video. The video is actually going to be coming out on Saturday, next Saturday, or Sunday. I think Sundays my videos tend to perform a little bit better. But I've now been doing Dark Angels for a year. So I'm going to do like a big update video on them, because they've been such a fun project. And it's been really lovely just like watching them grow. And they're on a display board next to me. They're and I just, every now and again, I just get to plonk down a new figure, and it's a pleasure just to watch a squad grow and stuff like that, just add to them. So I've been really enjoying Dark Angels, and you think I've been doing it for a year straight. Don't get me wrong, I've painted other things, but they've been like my only 40k faction. I've done so much kit bashing with them. And if anything, the project has taught me so much. I've really learned a hell of a lot from just kind of burying myself in their aesthetics and how they, are. And I said it in my last live, the thing that I love about Dark Angels, and let's do it again. What do I love about Dark Angels so much? It's the fact that you can't actually do anything wrong. you could paint your Dark Angels, like, and you could, and there is an excuse for it. You could paint them bright, luminous orange if you wanted to. You could do them bright pink if you wanted to. Do you know why? And the exact reason is you don't need to know why, because it's a secret. And that is the beauty of Dark Angels right there. It's a secret. How do you know they're not bright pink in the inner circle? Nobody knows what goes on in there. And that's the best thing about it, is you can really do like a thematic kind of thing. You can add successor chapters. You can add crazy colours and crazy ideas and stuff like that. And, you know, these like custom markings. And it's just great. You can just kit bash them how you want. And like nobody can actually say anything because nobody knows. And I love that. I think they're a really good canvas for if you wanted to get into Space Marines, but maybe didn't want to do things like Ultramarines. They're great because they're just an open door. You walk through that door and you go, hey, this is my little corner of secrecy now. I can do things how I want. I love it. Absolutely love it. It's been a fantastic kind of, you know, journey just doing it. And I really do enjoy their aesthetic greatly. So we've got a hole. I am going to pop a paperclip in there, as these are my pinning material of choice, nice and snug. How deep is that? I do need quite a bit. All right, so about there. If we pull that out, no, we're going to go a little bit further. I think I'd like to go all the way through, not out the other end, but like quite a ways down, because it's just going to hold everything better. Not that once this is in place, because the actual bottom of the mace can be glued to the floor, you know, it's all going to be fairly rigid. But I kind of just want to make sure. Yeah, no, cheers. Honestly, I've really enjoyed doing the Blood Angels. It's been great fun, just mucking about with them and just, you know, kind of just having a good time, as I so often do. As, you know, I've always said I've had my fun, and that's all that matters. So yeah, it's been a great project, actually. Probably one of my favourite to date. You know, and I painted my fair share of stuff. Okay, so we're going to go like there. And we're just going to let the glue set. There we go. I get that in a bit further. Am I just being stupid? It doesn't feel like it's in that far. Now, why is that? I'm not happy with that. So out it comes. And back we go with the drill. I do apologise. This section is going to be boring, but it does need to be fairly accurate. So I am just going to be taking my time here. Welcome to Sunday evening, drilling with Rob. Yeah, that's where we are. So yes, Dark Angels, love them. Think they're great. Think they're brilliant. And if you disagree with me, you're wrong. So, you know, that's how we roll here. Oh, look, now super glued it clipped to the bloody thing. Oh, come on, Rob, wake up. So yes, yeah, Age of Sigmar. Sorry, back on track. Rumours. Skaven. I like the idea of Skaven. I don't know what it is about them. I know very little about them. Obviously, a very iconic faction. I think a lot of people will be happy to hear Skaven, you know, and if the rumours are true, and I don't know, you know, these are just rumours, I think a lot of people are going to be chuffed to have Skaven fight in Stormcast and then be the main bad. I think they're long overdue. I don't know much of the range. I looked at it the other day, and there's a hell of a lot of Finecast stuff and metal stuff still available for Skaven. Made me feel quite bad for them, actually. Also, happy birthday to Warp Spiders. They're now 30. Fantastic. I just love that so much. But yeah, so I thought, no, it's good. I like to see factions, even if I'm not a Skaven player and I know very little about them. I'm glad they're getting their time in the sun. I think, you know, every faction should. Definitely, 100%. So, right, that's in. That's the biggest hurdle, I think, there, aside from cutting away the hand. Now, what I am going to do is about there. So what we need to do next, and I think what I'll do I have, see, I could just use the end of this handle, but I don't want to ruin that just in case. So let's go back to the bits box and let's see if we can see with the, once again, this is it. Go for it painting. Hello, how are you this evening? And once again, this is getting back to like Dark Angels. And I think one of the things why it's been so inspiring to Kitbash with them is that they've all got these new maces. Why has he got an old one? Secret. Ain't got to tell anything. But like, that's what it is. It could just be like a relic. You can make up your own little story, and it's really easy to with them. I love them to bits. God bless them. So let's just go back to the bits box and find out if I have a bit of handle. Now, that's too short. I wonder, is there in the veterans kit? Let's go back to the gold mine. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The Space Marines Dark Angels veterans kit is the ultimate source for bits. Now, I don't think I'm going to be lucky today. Swords. No. No mace handles. Oh, that's a shame. Right. So, there's definitely nothing in there, is there? No. The only thing I would have liked in the Knights kits, I think we should get a Deathwing Ancient. Oh, that'd be so good. I'm going to make one of those. I think that would be really, really cool, actually. A Deathwing Ancient. Oh, yeah, God, that gets the brain going. Now I'm thinking of other things. One thing at a time. Come on now, don't go tangent. Now, what to do about this situation? Do I just... I think I'm feeling fairly confident, if I'm completely honest with you. So what I might do is I might just... Okay, if the hand is going to go there like that, this is where I need to get my measurements correct. So the hand's going to rest on that bit there, like that. And the actual mace bit is there. So it's literally, if I cut from just below his hand, I think, come on, let's just do it. Let's be saucy. Let's be saucy men. Ooh. So I'm just going to really slowly, I'm going to really take my time. I do apologise if my hands aren't that visible. What are we looking for? The will to live, Crabby. No, fucks. No, I was looking for a handle. So for those that are just joining, and if you, I've done a really poor job today, actually, I'm really, really sorry. If you're watching from the future, hi YouTube. The plan is, and I'm just gonna go back over it. This Deathwing Knight, cool kit, love it. This really, really cool pose. This not so much. This is even tiny little weary. So what I want to do is I want to make my Knightmaster with the mace, but I want him, you know, with his hand down and he's holding it on the floor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a mace using one of the older ones. Why has he got an old one, Rob? It's a relic, and you can't say anything because the Dark Angel's so secretive. It's true, and you'll never know if it's not. The beauty of Dark Angels coming at you from all angles. So I'm going to just add the the handle there, and I think that will give me the appropriate height. Let's just have a look. If you do hear a child screaming, my my youngest was recently in a dance show, and we bought it on DVD, and she's obsessed with now watching herself on the DVD do the dancing. I'm proud of my kids. I'm proud of what they achieved, and I'll never be afraid to admit that. But I wish we could just watch something else. It's doing my head in. It really. Well, see, right, tactical rocks. Now, I was going to do that. He has already got one. I could have built it up, but the problem is I then have to then build up the rock in front of him. So what I did was the spiky bit I filed down, so it looks like it's embedded into the ground. And I think if I just use this handle here, and I'm just gonna, that section there should be more than enough. And I actually think I'll need to take a little bit off of it as well, because if we, it's so difficult because this is really bulbous, and that is a fantastic word as well. If you put that there like that, yeah, we got loads of room. Right, let's just take this off. Come on, Rob, stop procrastinating. So let's just gently, and I do apologize if I'm not doing it. Oh, well, that's gone well, isn't it? What's everyone else working on tonight? Right. Are we hobbying? Are we doing something else? You know, what we got going on? I'm gonna like, I wasn't going to talk about this because it generally doesn't bother me. I do consider myself quite transparent, and obviously I am very self-aware, especially when it comes to YouTube. When you're on the internet, you know, in an ideal place, everyone kind of gets along and stuff like that. I get that, you know, that's fine. There's always going to be people out there that are going to want to voice their opinions, no matter, well, you know what. So obviously I work with Joy Toy, and they do send me figures. One of the remits that I get from Joy Toy is when I get a product, I submit feedback on it, what I feel worked well, what I feel didn't work well, and stuff like that. It's a very similar thing to the Warhammer Insider program. Is that when you get this stuff to preview early for your communities, there is a certain amount of feedback and almost like Q&A testing. I'm working not on mates, so just chilling in my hotel. Hey, you're right near the Holy Land. If you popped into Warhammer World, like you should put it down as a work expense as well, because that would, I don't even know what's going on with this bloody thing at the moment. That's what I would do. I'd be in the Warhammer World store. Oof, be in Bugman's with a cup of coffee. So you kind of, it's not just you get stuff. Like it aggs me when people write, so and so sent me this for free. They didn't send you it for free. You've been sent it to, provide a service on it, something. It's not getting it for free. You then have to either fulfill your side of things, promote it. You need to, look at it, give your objective opinion if that's what's been asked for. There's a lot you need to do. It's not just getting stuff for free. That's always something that has really, really frustrated me. And I think a lot of the time people see you kind of like putting yourself out there, and you do get this stuff and they don't like it. That's fair. Okay, it happens. Kenneth Stark, hi, how are you today? Going over on Wednesday for some food. Yeah, do it. It's great. I went to an event there a little while ago, and do you know what? Good lattes. Absolutely love it. Right, that's the handle. I'm just going to trim this up. We'll do that side facing. It's a little bit jank, but don't worry, we can work with it. I think I've knackered my knife, which wouldn't be a problem, but I also knackered my knife again the other day, so it's missing. Oh, bloody thing. So getting back to it. So yes, you have to, kind of, sometimes though, when you're given these products, I often think like, is it is it just me that's having this issue? Is it something that, you know, other people have noticed? And I do tend to always try and be really constructive with how I say things, because there's no point just going something is rubbish for the sake of saying something is rubbish. That's not going to solve any problem whatsoever. Or it's not going to give anyone any information to go, oh yeah, maybe this product is for me or isn't for me. So, oh, okay. So I think what we can actually do just quickly is, looking at it, if I cut just here, it's this one, that should put us perfectly in line with, and don't do what I'm doing. It's only because I've got like callous hands. Yes, you kind of have to, you know, have to play. But yeah, but as I was saying, you sometimes have to be like, oh well, you know, I don't quite know if it's just me, or was there another solution that community found, or anything like that. Fine. So I did an unboxing of Celestine, the Living Saint. Really, really cool model, figure, Joy Toy. However, like some of my gripes, I one bit broke. It's not the end of the world. On the back, it shows the backpack separate, but on the figure, it clearly has to be glued in. So why is it shown as like a separate part when it needs to be? So anyway, I kind of, and one of the other gripes was I said was that because of how Celestine is represented in 40k, and don't get me wrong, Joy Toy do an absolutely stellar job of replicating the you know, the one-to-one likeness of figures. However, a rigid plastic model and a posable action figure, it's two very different things. It's like turning a video game into a movie. Some work, some don't. You know, I'm not going to open that can of fish, actually. Don't quote me on that. They're all objectively awful. But you know, that's sometimes it just doesn't translate well. And in my opinion, and it is, you know, my opinion, I said, like, I don't think this works so well. The stand they give with you is cool. I tried tightening up screws. It was still quite loose. It was kind of like craning forward. And you couldn't, I was getting a little bit frustrated with the figure itself, because I couldn't get it into the pose like I could, like a model out the box. So it's quite difficult. It doesn't, you know, translate as well. That's a fair assumption, but it's also an opinion. You have to respect that. It's an opinion. It's my opinion. Other people might go, no, Rob, you're wrong. It's fine. Cool. You know, if you generally like it, fantastic. But like, you know, sometimes it's a little bit food for 40, isn't it? Well, so I did kind of go on to some of the, there's a group I'm on Facebook, and I've had these, I don't know why I still do it. You know, I don't really pay too much attention to Facebook, if I'm honest with you. And so I went on the Joy Toy group, and so I'm just going to change my, where have I put my, it's here. And I thought, well, you know, I wonder if someone else has, you know, had the same issue. Like, was there a fit? How did people fix this? Or like, did they have problems with the stands? And, you know, what were their thoughts on the figures? So I posted the video. Mind you, it's a 13-minute video. So it's not, you know, and I try and be very constructive when I say things. There's a lot to like about those figures, and do you know what? If you like that figure, it's going to be for you. If you don't, that's, you know, that's okay, that happens. But so I went on the Joy Toy community thinking, well, they're a community of people that are quite passionate about Joy Toy. Like, there's a lot of third-party bits where people will like 3D print and stuff like that, and I thought, well, great opportunity to just, you know, speak to community members and see if they had any issues. Was there a workaround with the stand and stuff like that? You know, could it be changed? Or was it just like objectively bad across the board? You know, what's the, you know, the whole spiel with it? So I posted it, and I had one guy really loses absolute shit at me. And he was like, for God's sake, oh God, there aren't any valid like points here. And I was like, so I just reiterated them. I said, but you've said the points, but you're saying they're not valid, but you've gone over them. And if you've gone over them and had to explain them, then surely they needed a fix because you've had to just explain. So I thought, I'm not going to get into it. I try and, you know, my etiquette online is, you know, I always try and be professional as, you know, I can be. So I was like, oh, all right, fine. You know, and I said to the guy, like, you know, aside from how brash he was and how abrupt, I was kind of like, okay, but can you just elaborate on like the backpack situation? Because he tried to explain it, bless him, and it just didn't really make a lot of sense. And, you know, fine. So I was like, okay. And then he said like, oh, you're just complaining for the sake of complaining. And I was like, well, you know, I am, you know, sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry that you, because you had a different experience with this than me, you know, you feel like I'm attacking something that you love. Obviously that, you know, that's not the intent there. I just, you know, wanted a bit of help from the community. Then I had this absolute crab of a human being. And he was like, what's the issues? And I was like, well, the ones listed in the video. He was like, I'm not watching that. So I was like, all right, okay, you don't have to, you know. And he went, it's clickbait, mate. I'm like, I've posted it in, you know, where it's supposed to be posted on the forums. I haven't asked to subscribe, to like, to check me out and all this rubbish. All I asked for was help from a community that I thought would be quite like, you know, welcoming. You know, I posted quite a few videos on the Joy Toy stuff. I do a lot for them, and for them, with them, should we say? That's a better way of saying it. And I was just like, and he was like, yeah, you just asked me to your butt hurt, and I was like, okay. I was like, there's no need to be rude. Like, I think I'm done here, you know. And then he was like, your self-promotion backfired. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. You know, I just said, you're right, mate. I said, do you need a little bit of a cuddle? You know, the wife's going, Rob, don't do it. And I'm just like, well, it's knocked me a little bit that he's taking this poopy attitude. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, if something is bad, like, one thing that like, because I had a good time with Army Painter paints, and I thought Speed Paint 2.0 was actually quite good, and follow the instructions, and I still follow the instructions to this day, and you know how they're intended to be used. I haven't really had any problems. Some are a little bit blotchier than others, and I did find that sometimes if you don't shake them, you get bits, which is a bit weird. But you know, that's not all colours, just some colours. Anyway, because I liked something, and because someone else didn't like it, you're wrong. And you are about to feel the wrath of the internet. Like, it happens. You know, it happens. And unfortunately, that's just the passion of people. And, you know, you can turn around and try and, like, you know, defend yourself. But I think people have a right to, you know, have a passion and have an opinion. Really, that's all I do, is I go on and I say what I like and what I don't like, and, you know, how to do things. And is it the right way? Yes. Is it the right way? No. Is it the right way? Everything is really, really subjective online. And you are open to criticism. And once again, everyone has a right to an opinion online. Very much satirically, is that even if something isn't for you, or you didn't like something, or you're not even going to partake in watching the video and trying to help these issues or give me a workaround, no. But what I am going to do is abuse you. And I think that's something completely different. You know, the comment was obviously reported, the thread, the comment section's been taken down. The other guy, I've left a comment there because I do think that bad comments and negative comments are just as good as good comments, because it's the other side of a coin, and you need to, you know, especially when you're online and you put yourself in this type of space, it's just something that is going to happen, and, you know, you're there for it. If you're going to have an opinion about something online, then you need to prepare for other people giving you their opinion. Same with hobbying. If you're going to give out advice, you need to prepare for someone else to say that your advice is wrong, or you're not doing something right, or yada yada yada. You know, that's exactly the gist of it online. But I did think to myself, at one point. If I had wrote the problem out in a post, would the attitude still be the same? Because I haven't done anything different. If I put a transcript, you know, a 13-minute transcript on a website and went, can you give Sam with this? People are going to be like, I ain't reading all that. You know, I do it. I see really, really long messages and I think, skim that one. I ain't reading all that. You know, because that's, you know, part and parcel of like human nature, really. But I did. It was really funny. I got to admit, I kind of get away with it a bit with the, I don't say negative comments, but like the crappy behaviour. One, I think people know that I won't stand for it. Like, have an opinion, it's fine. But if you're going to be rude, it's a completely different story. And I just, you know, was absolutely just astounded by this person's behaviour today. And I really was like, you know, even when I read the comments out, well, I don't mind arguing with people or, you know, like saying, well, okay, that's fine. Well, but can you not help me with the issues? So it was funny. It was a funny exchange, actually. Stuff like that never really bothers me. I don't really mind a bit of confrontation. That's why I answer every YouTube comment, whether it's good or bad. And I always try and be really, really impartial. I think as soon as you kind of like start taking it to heart a bit too much, maybe that's when you go, maybe YouTube really isn't for me, or social media space isn't. You know, there's going to be people that are going to challenge your critique and what you do, and you know, that's the internet, that's what it's there for. But if it wasn't challenged, it's not being refined, it's not being talked about, then it's not evolving. So, you know, so it's just a bit frustrating, you know. But it did, I haven't had that type of thing for a while. I forget sometimes how kind of just rude people can be on the internet, and it's just, I don't know what's up with you there, lad. But you know, so go for it, painted, thumbs up. You know, I just think it is part and parcel of it. So this is taking absolutely forever. I am making progress as a whole there. I can go, all these people tuned in and it's me just doing this with a squeaky pin drill. I'm so sorry. This is the most unexciting thing ever. I thought, this would be good to do live, actually. Once we do this bit, we're plain sailing. We can cut the hand away and we can call this good. We can kind of, you know, make this happen. At least you can say that you were there for it. And I think that's something to be incredibly proud of yourself. I've actually got a little companion today. Our eldest cat. We've got 3 cats. He's a rescue cat. He was actually pulled in the day before fireworks night 13 years ago. And my wife was actually about 7 months pregnant. I come through the door of a cat going, hey, guess what I've got? You know, so, do you know what, this is taking absolutely forever. I have to be so careful with this bit. And for some reason, all of a sudden, none of the cats really come in my room. The only one that does is our little girl cat, Gigi. She comes in and she puts like her bum in your face, and you know, she loves being. I bite her ears. I don't know, it's weird. We've got a weird relationship, and you know, she comes in and eventually she'll kind of like settle down and sit down on you, and she'll, until you go to get up, she'll sit on your lap. You know, and she's the only cat that tends to kind of like come in my studio. But for some reason, the eldest cat has decided, I had like a bit of it's a blackout sheet, and I folded it up and he's just sleeping on it. And I walked in and was like, oh, there's a cat in here, which is really, really weird. So he normally spends the night. He's a bit of a feral outdoors cat. He never really shook that. And he's kind of feral. He tends to stay out a lot, especially in the summer months. But he's getting old now, bless him. So he's staying in a lot more. Just quickly, is the Deathwing Knights kit good for bits? Yeah, ooh. Oh, you juicy, juicy, juicy question. Right, let's stop this for a minute. It is. However, it is very particular. Now, what I mean by this, Wilhelm Nord 888 is, so 8's my favourite number. Fantastic. You should have 8 times instead of just 3 times. Anyway, it's fine. Obviously, you get the shields and stuff like that. You do get all the shoulder pads. Everything is Deathwing and Dark Angel's iconography, which is great. There are some good alternatives. If you go to the instructions, and I will just flick through it ever so quickly. If you are interested, I did do a big unboxing review. Just skip to like the Deathwing Knight bits. It's a lovely kit. You've got a ton of head options. See, for a squad of 5, nice. The Knightmaster, 3 variants. 4 if you're doing what I'm doing. And then you've got, everyone has 2 variants, which is either a sword or mace, sword or mace, sword or mace. I really like this guy with the walking post. I think I'll do him next. Again, sword or mace, sword or mace. But because they are Terminator scale and they are the new Terminator size stuff, the old stuff does scale with them. The only thing I will say is you can get some really, really, really lovely like combinations. But what you'll need to do is make sure that you don't just use one arm and then one new arm, because it will look really, really weird. And I mean really weird. It's not so noticeable when they're together. But if you just look, I mean, you've got the painted variants here. They're rammed with the iconography. It's really, really lovely. If you are looking for Terminator bits though and stuff like that, then I will say the new upgrade sprue is really, really good for that. I do have it here. Again, I do go a bit more in depth into in my video, but it's got some really, really cool bits on there. I think these are the no. Oh, I thought it did have Terminator bits on there. Oh, poop. Oh yeah, they are. Sorry, duh. These ones. Very cool. Once again, little dangly bits, purity seals, stuff like that. Not as much of the, I guess, American Indian influence there with like the feathers and stuff like that, which is a shame. But there are some there. Don't get me wrong. And obviously like the plasma. Yeah, brilliant. Love it. It is a cool source of bits. If you're after like swords and maces, you will get quite a lot of them in there. However, I think the standard kit, which I also do have. That's awful. What are you talking about? You know, with like you've got some swords, the hands, quite cool. I think it's how far you're willing to go to jazz this stuff up. I think it was for yesterday. It looks absolutely great. Do you know what? I haven't really played around with the upgrade sprue yet. Obviously, I got the 2 because I got the Deathwing Knight box. I've definitely got ideas floating around. I mean, look at that. That's a beast of a sword. Love it. And all this kind of like heraldry here, I think it's fantastic. One thing I really like is if you get if you've got the upgrade sprue and you've got the you've got a pack of normal Terminators, the instructions, you know what I will do? I'm going to take this to work with me tomorrow. I'm going to scan it and I'm going to upload it, because it actually shows you how to make Deathwing Terminators, and the instructions include the upgrade sprue. So I'll probably do that, and I'll put it on my my Google Drive thing, and I'll put a post up about it. Really, really cool. So if you've got the upgrade sprue, you can actually build the official Deathwing Knight variants with the instructions, which is cool. Definitely worth doing if you're looking to kind of dip your toe. And I always say I admire a man that uses their bits. I always say to people, use your upgrade sprues. They're there to be used. You know, I for years I would buy upgrade sprues and do nothing with them, but the times have changed. So yeah, use your upgrade sprues. And I like a man that does. I admire it. I love it. Gets me going in all the right places. So right, how far in are we here? Let's, because this is taking forever. This is right. Okay, we're there. So we're about 3 little ribbed things in. Let's do a couple more turns for luck. And then we'll... It's really satisfying when you get the really thin bit of plastic start needling out. Oh, I love it. Right, I'm happy. I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do, let's lose the clippers. Oh, what have I done now? There they are. So if we go about there, and then I thought to have a better source of winged helmets. Yeah, see, winged helmets, that's another thing. I don't know why there isn't. I've got, like I said, I've got this guy here. Look at that helmet. Look at his hat. It's massive. Like, he's obviously like proper big cheese man. Like, I'd love to do something with this guy. Look at that cape. It's wicked. But he's just so small. Like, he's just so small and pathetic. Like, put him next. I can't add him to my army. Like you brought a toddler to work with you. It's ridiculous. So, you know, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do something to honour these guys. Maybe one day. But it is not this day. A Lord of the Rings quote there. Do you want to know a true fact? I can't stand Lord of the Rings. So I'll lay that one on everyone. And you don't what? Yeah, you heard. So we're nearly there. We're nearly there, everyone. Is that who it is? Balfour. Ah, I use his paint. And yeah, so funny enough, I got these. My buddy Josh kindly picked them up for me because there was like a bring and buy thing at the local gaming club, and he saw them and he was like, oh, I'm going to get Rob that. And he did, and he sent it over to me. It's really, really kind of him. So I've had him sitting in a box for ages now, and I've done absolutely nothing with him because I was like, oh, maybe I could use him for bits, but because the way oh, he's dead. Ah, that makes you feel better about not using him actually. Yeah, and they've just kind of sat there, and I thought, oh, maybe I can just. Ah, is that what it is? Balfour's. I never knew that. See, once again, the beauty of Dark Angels. Is he dead, or is it a secret that he's still alive? Ah, you just do it, didn't you? It's fantastic. You can't tell me that Dark Angels aren't the best faction ever. Right. Literally a fraction more. I've resorted to the file because I'm trying to be so precise here. And then the moment of truth, did I actually measure it correctly? If it is too long, I can actually just file this back down so it sits further down. See, I thought of everything. People think I make it up as I go along, but really, I'm really on top of this. So there's the mace. All right, it looks a bit wee, it looks a bit diddy, but put it next to the sword. Oh, look at that. He's only gone and done it. God, lad. That deserves a swig of tea in a minute. All that. I've been literally using a pin drill for 59 minutes. Oh my God. Bit of super glue. Then I am just going to get a little bit of the cement stuff. I'm just going boop, just on there. And then we're just going to push this together. And this is going to be the only thing I am going to just check, because I don't want it looking bent. is to make sure that it's not wonky, because otherwise it's really weird. Look at that thumb shake there, look how unsteady it is. I've normally got hands like a surgeon, but I'm so bloody concerned about messing this up. Okay, we're gonna pop this here for a minute into that so it dries upright. Now let's have a look at this hand, shall we? That's the hard part. Just cause, yeah, but Griffins have got their own thing. They ain't got no secrets, have they? They're just what you see is what you get. Dark Angels, anything goes because it could be true, because it's a secret. And if you're doing Dark Angels, someone goes, oh no, that's not canon, you go, yeah, it's a Dark Angel secret. Shh, not even supposed to tell you. And then just walk away from them. Make them out to be really, really stupid. That's what I'd do. That's what I do. It's just like, Rob, you can't do it. Shh, secret. Right, swig of the tea. I've earned this. Wow. Like I said, we're 61 minutes in. All you've done is watch me drill a fucking tiny hole. I'm so sorry. I was like, this won't take long. Yeah, I'll get everyone in. I can treat it like a video. It'll be great. And 30 minutes later, there's 9 people still watching going, yeah, that hole's not getting any deeper, mate. So, look, it'll be worth it. And you'll be amongst the first to see it. So, you know, if you were there, I think it wasn't last Sunday, the Sunday before, I did another hobby hangout and look at the Skirgan True Blades. I've actually... Are we back? There we go. Little hiccup there. Yeah, the Pariah with his little bat mate up there. Very cool. And I did just paint up the glaive and the charnel mace. I did them 2 together. Now normally I don't batch paint, but it made sense because their uniforms were, you know, identical. So they're done now as well, which is very, very cool. What I am going to do is let's go for this, shall we? Come on. What's the worst that can happen? I have to buy another one on eBay. Right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just ever so gently with this god-awful hobby knife. Oh God, this is going to be... I think I'm going to have to butcher this. So off comes the handle. Sorry, mate. Would have liked to have kept that. It doesn't matter. Can keep the blade. And the plan is to keep, so the thumb, which is here, we're just going to go into that, and then downwards here, we're just going to cut into it there, and take that little wedge out, because the thumb is there. So what I'm going to do is I'm really going to err on the side of caution, because obviously this is the one bit that I can't really mess up. So it stops there. So now let's cut that bit away just so I can see that. This little bit here. God, this is so fiddly. Oh my God. Why do I have these ideas? Maybe I can... I'm not going to use clippers. The reason why I'm not going to use clippers is because it can tear the plastic, and I really don't want that. Because if I tear the plastic, it's game over, because it'll probably just take a chunk out. Just listening and painting. Look at that. I will do. Yeah, nice one. Is it of the Griffins? Or is it just like you dressed up again? Because last time I couldn't look you in the eye for a while. So that was... So if anyone, like I always say, like I really do enjoy seeing like what people work on and stuff like that. If you're on Instagram and you're working on something and you're proud of it, do you know what? Send it to me. And I'll shout it out for you. Absolutely love it. Like I love seeing people's work and their achievements and what they're proud of. Like just you know, I've actually made some really, really lovely people who just, you know, sent me their work. We just got talking, and it's been such a lovely like experience. Just chatting with people. Do it. Like I said, if you want more people to see your work, just send it over to me, and I'll happily just be like, Rob, this is this, and I'll do it. Brilliant. Right, so now I'm going to cut, let's just, now I can, let's just really gently. Stumpy fingers and kit bashing is the worst combination ever. Now, that's fine there. Let's cut actual, oh, come on now. Oh, no, going back, right. So, what we need to do is just nip this away bit by bit. And if you can see that, I hope you can. This is what I'm doing. And obviously we're trying to keep the thumb there because obviously we need that. All right, so now let's just, like, this is a really sharp hobby blade. It's actually a new blade, which is gutting that the actual thing's just broke and it's all gone wibbly wobbly. But because what I need to do, this bit, let's just straighten that bit off. It's really, when it comes to doing these little bits like that, take your time. You know, just I can't stress this enough. Take your time, make sure you're comfortable, and just patience, like, is the utmost key. Is just take your time. Like a slip and it's all over. Take your time, keep checking what you're doing, and just, yeah, that's like the biggest bit of advice I can give anyone when it comes to especially bits like this. Is it's gonna, you know, you just need to really take your time. I don't do much green stuff in, as you know. I probably should, you know. I keep telling myself I'm gonna learn how to green stuff. And it's one of those things that you put off, because I mean, it'd be lovely just to be able to, like, almost sculpt a hand, but I'm not there yet. So I'm not going to push myself to do it. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. But I like to take bits and just convert them, because if I green stuff and someone they can't follow along with what I'm doing, which defeats the object of what I'm doing, teaching someone how to do something. And that's just my opinion. Like, does that make sense? Is that really skewed kind of way of looking at it? And that's one thing that I've always tried to do, is make my methods and stuff like that really, really, I guess, achievable by anyone. Because we all start somewhere and we all have different skill levels. And, you know, I mean, I've done this chat many, many times. So I like to know that I can do something, and I always say this: I am the average hobbyist. I get excited for Warhammer, you know, just like everyone else. There's nothing special about it. There's, you know, I'm just, all I've chosen to do is put my stuff on YouTube. That's it. There's no other difference except for that I kind of, you know, I do that. So what I'm going to do now, if I just slowly, just almost like bevel this edge. Now, what I might do is glue the hand in place, because that is going to give us the last piece. Yes, we're there. We've done it. Chat has been fantastic. You've been with me all the way. I never doubted any of you for a second. But look, we're going to glue this hand in here, like that. So there's our handlet. I hope we can see that. Oh my God. So that's how it looks with, obviously, without the sword blade. You can see his thumb kind of sticking out. And then what's going to happen is that hand is literally going to sit over there. I do just need to trim this little section down, and his hand's going to be sitting on top of it. Hey, look at that. I might even just, let's have a quick look at how the arm sits. Is it at an angle? Because that's the only... yeah, see, it's at an angle. So when you actually glue the arm and it sits flat, it needs to be like there by his feet. So the actual thing needs to go slightly wonky donkey at an angle, which is easy enough to do actually. But I do think what we can do is now let's glue this arm together, as that's going to give us a bit more of something to hold on to, and is going to help out immensely. Again, you know, it's using the bits to my advantage, and that, see, I've now got something to grab, which is a lot, you know, easier to work with. So now the next step is to just take this, and this should now be pretty rigid. Oh, look at that, ain't going anywhere. Fantastic. Probably going to take this again. Drop the like of that story. What are you actually doing right now? Sorry, I'm just catching up with chat. Jason Williams, how are you? Love from Texas. I hope you are keeping well. Thanks for popping in. Really appreciate it. So what are you actually doing right now? I fucking know. I don't know. What I'm doing is I was cutting away the hand, because we're swapping the hand out for a mace. So the hand is going to be on the mace like this. So what I now need to do is I'm just going to get my file, and I'm going to just file away a little bit just to kind of get that level. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make a dip inside of his hand, because that is going to be the bit that is, obviously, we don't want the hand to look out of place, because that would be just, you know, a lot of hard work for nothing. So it's just, and I do apologise, my camera's set slightly forward today, just because I struggle with, I've got the light and the way my setup is. There we go. I can hear my kids absolutely going at it downstairs, and I can hear the dance video on still. Oh my God. People wonder why I spend so much time in my office. As you say, a librarian. I like the librarian. Is it not Tigris? Is it that one, or is it the new one with the cool armor? I got to admit, I don't actually have any librarians for my Dark Angels at all, and I should. It's awful behaviour. So we need, to pick which way this round is going to go. So I think we should have it like that, like kind of like on the wonk. So we're now going to say this is the backside. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to cut it level. I need it level with this. And the reason why I'm doing that, I'm also going to remove this little kind of bit there, this little dangly bit, because otherwise he might stand there holding it like that, and we don't want it. We don't want that. He's not a perv. Because we need this to sit there, in there. Now I think the best way to do this to make it fit, I know it sounds really weird, but I'm actually going to drill a massive hole into his hand, because I think what I can do is make like a little cup inside it, like a bowl, and then that will just sit over. Let's do that. That seems smart, actually. I'm going to need to go over to the fancy bits. Ooh, here we go. And I think this one, yes, spot on. like a lot of this, you know, it's really subtle what I'm doing. Like it's almost like people are saying, oh, it's probably just pointless. But do you know what? One thing again that I've really enjoyed with my Dark Angels is just doing this weird stuff with them, like just making them really like my own. Right, that's not going to work because the glue. I wonder if I can just cut it out with a knife then. So if I just get where its fingers would be, and just having a very unique looking force, and I think that's one of the, you know, one of the other things where I've really just fallen in love with Dark Angels, because I can just pick up an intercessor and just make it look like the wildest thing going, because hey, it's a Dark Angel, and like I absolutely love that. I think that's great. That to me is what Warhammer is about. So what I also need to do is cut some of this side away. So we're gonna, oh no, that's not good. And that bit there. I'm just gonna kind of shave it round. It looks a bit odd and it looks a bit jank, but when you pop that in, I need to make it like a wedge. So I might have to file this bit out. Like that. Yes. Not sure it is one of those books. I want to start my collection. Next be apothecary. Again, I haven't got an apothecary, and I kind of like the. Is it the biologist, Biophagus? I can't remember which one it is. The one that came with Leviathan. I like that, but I also like the normal. Just apothecary in general, like the Primaris one. Like he's kind of got that cool tabard, isn't he? I like that. I think there's a lot of scope to play around with. So, do you know what? I think we're really on the right track there. There's just that little bump there that needs to come down. Once that's off, I might need to be a bit more aggressive with it. But what I am going to do, and it might seem a bit weird that I'm doing it this way, is I'm going to glue the arm on. Now, the reason why I'm going to do that is because I need to get the angle that I'm filing right, because it's no good me filing it all at an angle if it's not going to go that way. So what I actually need to do you know what? I think I can actually remove that whole section and just have it in his hand. Do I do that? Do I do that? Oh God, the indecision. Yes, I really like, and I do need to grab like one. Tech Marines and like the oh God, the Apothecary. I love that, like they're just a different splash. And once again, because they're Dark Angels, guess what? You can paint them how you want. That's why Dark Angels are the best. You know, so I like that. I need to get a librarian. I really would like to try my hand at an Ezekiel. I've got all the bits now that I kind of need, because I want to make a Core Swain model. I know they do make a Core Swain model, but I want to have a crack at him. I've not recently found out about him, but obviously learnt a bit more about him. and he's cool. I like Cor Swain. Like, he's a badass. So I think a good Primaris Cor Swain is definitely on the cards. That is, 100% coming. I've also got some really cool bits. I want to make my first Space Marines that I ever painted was Space Wolves, and I have a really soft spot for Space Wolves. I'm a furry at heart, but I want to do like a Tyrannid Hunter, and I've got some bits in mind. I just need a few more things. That's taken a little bit with life getting in the way and having to order stuff. I want him to have his cool spear and the shield. I've got the shield. It was actually sent to me by a company called Resin Munitorum. They do like blind boxes of bits, which like to me is like pure gold. So I really want to do a Space Wolf Tyrannid Hunter, because that would be so sick. I really want to. So let's just glue his. Do you know what? We had loads of room. What was I even worried about? I spent ages mucking about with that bloody pommel because it needed to be wonky. And do you know what? I can actually cut it down. Off you go. Go on. Awful behaviour. Rob, what are you doing? It's you lot chatting to me, distracting me. I blame chat. There we go. So all I need to do now is there we go. It'll go in like that. I can actually probably take that down, but I'm not. I'm going to file it to a point like this. Just really gently. I'm using a really coarse file here. This is a mini bastard file. It's actually my favourite one, as it just does the job so well. And then we're just going to that'll pop in there like that. So then all that's left to do, the final bits, I just need to get the angle right on the bit that's going to be embedded into the ground. Right, that's my, which way round should I have it? I think I'll put the little motor thing at the back now, actually. It's better. So that will go in there. So about there. And I'm just going to eyeball this. It doesn't need to be perfect, because by the time I put texture on it, like the base, it's going to be fine. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit, you know, Space Wolf. Hey, come on now. They're good. I honestly think, and this is just my humble opinion, I don't think Games Workshop knows what to do with Space Wolves. I think back in the day they had a real good spot in, you know, like Games Workshop in general. But I think now, I think Games Workshop struggles to know what to do with them. Now, I'm not happy with that. So what I'm actually going to do, I think like there would be a much better pose. I'm actually going to clip that entire bottom section off. Like that. This is where I completely cock it anyway. And I'm going to ever so slightly file it at an angle. Like that. And I think that is going to be better. I'm only going to attach it really gently at the moment, because I would like to remove this from painting. Okay, we're just going to let that dry, but that's how it's going to look. I think I need to do something with that thumb. It needs to be a bit more flatter towards the hand, if I'm honest with you, but I'm pretty chuffed with that. Cost so much from relay search and rescue team. When your big guns are in trouble, these are the guys that you call in like a modern day SWAT team. Yeah, see, I love that. Like little concept armies. Honestly, the best ones. Absolute 100% best ones. So there we go. When we put his shield on. Yeah, there we go. Look, we did it. We did it, team. You're with me to the end. Voila. He's got his mace on the thing. Happy days. I think I'm going to clip his thumb off, and I'm just going to hold it there. Yeah, use the Lieutenant box of base. No, in actual fact, I don't want to use the Leviathan Phobos guy. I want him to be in Incessa armor. Forgot what it was called there for a minute. I want him in Incessa armor. And yeah, that's how I'm going to do it. Ah, do you know what? I'm really chuffed with that, actually. That's turned out really, really well. Don't get me wrong. We've been at that for an hour and 26 minutes. All right, there's been waffling breaks as well, but like, look at that. Super, super chuffed. All I'm going to do, I'm going to let the hand set for now. And then I'm going to let that dry overnight. I might actually glue the mace to the base, because then I can take the top off, and when I push it back on, it will always be in the same spot. I think that'll work. So yeah, I think so. Thanks, mate. No, I appreciate it, and I do hope, like, sometimes I obviously do these kit bashing videos, and I sit here and I'm editing, and I'm very self-aware. I know I'm not the best at editing and voiceover, and I do kind of like stumble sometimes, stuff like that. I do this because I like to do it, not because I want to be some sort of like massive stupid YouTube person or whatever. But like it goes to show. I mean, this is half. I've changed an arm and a weapon, and we've been at it an hour and a half. It just goes to show, like, when I do my kit bash videos, actually how much work goes into them and how much time. And I think like that's always like a good, almost like an eye-opener, but it's a good point of reference for people when they, to get into it. I think sometimes we can all make it look very easy and very quick, but you know what? The reality of that is just not true some of the days. These projects take a long time to do, and there's a lot of work that goes into them, not just me, but other people that make content and stuff like that. I definitely think it's something to be considerate of. But yes, it's I like doing stuff like this. I like these little diddly changes that just you put my guy next down to 20, 30, 40, 50 other Deathwing Knights now, and mine just stands out. And I really like that. I love having something that's unique to me, and I mean, it's very representative of my Dark Angels force because of how. And one thing I can appreciate, having a look at them, for this, I guess I've been Dark Angels for a year video, just how much work has gone into each one. And I'm never too worried about saying I'm very proud of what I've accomplished. I think sometimes you do need to give yourself a pat on the back, and it's good. It's good for the soul. It's not egotistical. It's not being big-headed. It's what, you've worked hard, and I think it's definitely something that is really, really lovely. Actually, give yourself some credit. Celebrate your wins, not just your losses. There's some sound advice there. Look, and we still got to keep the other arm. Hey, look at that. We did it. So look, I am going to leave it there. I'm not going to adjust the thumb now. I will probably do that tomorrow. But what I will do is when I've done that, I'll put some blue tack on him and I will pop up some pictures on a community tab so you can see him. That's it. It wasn't really about anything. It was just, you know, me rambling for a little bit and having a bit of a good time with my community, which I generally do, really do enjoy. It's always a privilege. So thank you for everyone that spent an hour and a half of their Sunday with me doing this. It's, you know, it's a pleasure to have the company. But I am gonna leave it there. Once again, I'm an old man. I'm an old man. I want to walk my dog and get into bed. So that's what I will be doing. Yeah, thanks. It's cool. I like it. Look, how cool is that? I'll also change the thumbnail as well so we can all see it. But look at that. Well chuffed. I think he looks great. Just going to move that thumb in. Once again, thanks everyone. The chat's away. I love seeing the chat talk to each other. That's my thing. You put jam in my donut, you not. So yes, thanks for stopping by. I'll try and do another one next Sunday. I'll try and make this a regular thing, as I really do enjoy it. It's lovely. So anyway, that is it for me in this one. Thanks again for everyone spending their time with me. Very much appreciated. I will see you all next time. God bless and take care.